In an effort to preserve the state of history, many will often gather a variety of household objects, papers, and coins, choose to bury them in a box, and forget about their treasures for the rest of their lives. This then proves to be what is referred to as a time capsule that helps to hold a little piece of history well into the new era. Additionally, many of these time capsules are seen as treasures of significant importance, helping researchers better understand the period of time of which they came from. A variety of newspaper clippings as well as old minted coins no longer surviving. Today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be going over a variety of time capsules discovered in the modern day, of which should never be opened to help preserve the pieces of history that they hold for future generations. The FDR time capsule. One of the most interesting time capsules is that of the FDR time capsule. Not because of its historical significance, but because of what the capsule itself might hold to reveal after all of these years. The FDR time capsule was buried back in 1940 with the help of the United States President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, that wrote a long speech describing the importance of such an occasion, as well as a number of undisclosed reports and files stuffed in by the then United States President. After the ceremony, the capsule was measured as weighing more than 450 pounds in total and contained a large amount of items that were never officially disclosed. Though the capsule itself isn't scheduled for opening until 2040, many have protested this expiration date, claiming that, for safety of national security, the time capsule should never be opened. This is due to the belief that perhaps the United States President had placed more than just a speech and some nameless documents inside the capsule, a theory at the center of a variety of rumors and speculations. Some believe that the capsule could hold references to top-secret military data, evidence of conspiracy, or other sensitive documents that FDR at the time believed would be more than outdated and no longer relevant by the year 2040. This theory circles the contents of the president's speech that focus on an emphasis of truth and history, believing that perhaps these references were made to claim that the capsule holds references to covered-up truths and the history forced to have been forgotten by those pushing the propaganda during the time of the early 1940s. Either way, whatever it could be inside the time capsule, many believe that it would be better if the capsule was never opened in the first place to prevent such a threat to national security from ever happening. The tombs of Egypt. When a researcher first discovers and opens an ancient Egyptian tomb, they are often required to act quickly in order to prevent anything inside from becoming ruined when opened up to the air of the outside world. Essentially, such tombs are a time capsule of the ruler of whom it houses, proving to contain their most prized belongings, scriptures, and a variety of artifacts and idols. Unfortunately, it appears that when opened without the proper tools, as is seen by amateur researchers or tomb raiders, many of the artifacts inside become lost forever due to the lack of care treated. Additionally, many tombs are believed to house a dangerous curse to those that enter, resulting in many dying from a variety of ancient Egyptian traps, poisons, and even strange tragedies seemingly arising from nowhere. This has left many with the sentiment that such tombs should never be opened, and that even professionals of the modern era leave the site greatly disturbed, losing priceless artifacts and information forever that newer technologies could have saved, if only we were to wait just a few more years. The Crypt of Civilization. One of the most interesting and comprehensive time capsules for the time of humanity is that of the time capsule known as the Crypt of Civilization. As dark and foreboding as the name sounds, it proves to be one of the single most important time capsules created in the modern day, containing every major cultural influence, piece of information, and prized artifact of the modern era to show the developments of society. Inside the capsule are complete collections of classic forms of literature, film, religious books, scripts, and a number of technological progressions such as canned beer, typewriters, and computational machines. At the front of the capsule, a room modelled after ancient Egyptian crypts, is a large machine to help translate the language of English for any visitor that happens to stumble across the site. For those that have already pieced together the purpose of the Crypt of Civilization, you will realise all the more why this crypt is never to be opened. at least not by humans. The creator of the crypt held the belief that humanity will not live much longer past 1,000 years, and that whichever new species becomes the dominant species of the planet will need something to remember us by. In this sense, the crypt is never to be opened and works to be a collection of the last memories and developments of the entirety of the human race. The Vault of Padmanabhaswamy. Though many might argue that the Vault of Padmanabhaswamy might not fit the conventional definition of a time capsule, it still proves to be one of the oldest untouched and unopened collections of the ancient past. Located in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala, India, is a temple so rich in treasure that it has sparked a long and never-ending debate as to who the treasure should go to and what the purpose the money should serve. During the opening of the main vaults of the temple that yielded more than $18 billion worth of gathered gold, treasures, and artifacts in inventory. This meant that the last vault to be opened in the temple would see even more riches to be used as the people saw fit. Interestingly enough, the last vault was not regarded as the riches of the temple, but rather that of the riches of the gods that it was dedicated to. This left many wondering what was the correct and sacred way to handle this treasure and when the vault should be opened. This led a wide variety of groups to petition the government in order to prevent the vault front from being opened, and arguing that leaving the vault closed with the riches in their place is the only sacred way of handling the matter. After several petitions from key figureheads, archaeologists, and even the priests that worked at the temple of preventing the main vault from ever being opened, along with several failed attempts to open the large stone doorways, it appears that the government conceded and have deemed the area to never be opened for the foreseeable future. The necropolis of Aztlan. Although there is still speculation as to the existence of the vault, there appears to be an underground bunker hiding an ancient Aztec city somewhere in South America that has yet to be discovered and reopened in the modern day. Though it may not be, by definition, a time capsule, it works to be one of the most comprehensive capsules of a specific time in the ancient past. One of the most impressive and powerful empires to come out of all of South America was that of the Empire of the Aztecs that saw the ancient civilization become an almost overwhelming presence throughout the entire region. The Aztecs formed the central hub for their city in what is now modern-day Mexico City and has been the topic of a wide variety of archaeological discussion. Interestingly enough, even though a tremendous amount of information regarding the old civilization is recorded deep throughout their mythologies and historical records, not much is known in the modern day about where the tribe originally came from or what changes they had undergone compared to neighboring tribes. It became obvious to their first European settlers that the Aztec tribe had a strange culture and religion that focused around an almost apocalyptic scenario and would often engage in strange human sacrifices to appease their gods in fear of what would soon become of them if they did not perform these ritualistic sacrifices. It became obvious that wherever these original rituals came from, it did not completely originate solely from the Aztec Empire, and references in mythologies spoke of a land from which the tribes came from that most likely first spawned these ideas. The land was known as the Lost Land of Aztlan, which was said to have been the home to 7 different tribes that arose from the city known as the Place of 7 Caves. Each of these underground caves helped the different people in a safe and secluded location until they emerged into the world and became separate tribes and empires on their own, which seems to be eerily similar to the function of an underground bunker or doomsday vault of some kind. Due to mythologies ranging from each tribe regarding the origin land and where it could possibly be located, no one has been lucky enough to find it, and this wild goose chase has led many to believe that perhaps it is nothing more than a religious origin story with no basis in historical fact. Until more can be discovered and additional translations of the mythologies can be found, it appears these cities and lands will be locked away, impossible to find underground. Once found, however, warnings of the ancient myths tell of something far more malevolent that was left behind inside the necropolis. But what do you all think of these 5 different time capsules around the world that should never be opened? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comments section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.